Well, hello, friends. Welcome to the Ladybird browser update for July 2025. It's been another lovely month in our project, and we have a bunch of things going on, things I want to tell you. So let's get started. First thing we always do is thank our sponsors. So, as you may know, Ladybird is funded entirely by sponsorships and donations from companies and individuals that care about the open web and they like that we're implementing it. So this month, joining us in the bronze tier, we have Scraping Fish. Very cool. Thank you for coming on board. And we also have a new infrastructure sponsor called Blacksmith. They are sponsoring us with GitHub Actions runners that are way, way faster than the ones we get from GitHub. And this has been awesome for our CI cycle times. So thank you to Blacksmith for sponsoring in this way. Cool. So let's look at July 25. First thing, let's start with numbers. So this month we did 319 pull requests that we merged from 47 contributors. And these numbers wobble up and down every month, but I think this is more pull requests than last month, but slightly fewer contributors. But it goes up and down. This is very good pace, in my opinion, for where we are in the project. So very nice to see. Another number that we also track is the web platform tests. So this month we added 13,090 new passing tests. That's actually way more than I expected we would, but people found a bunch of things there that we could fix to get big points. So we did. So that's great. Now we have 1,831,856 passing subtests on WPT. That's awesome. In context, this is where all the top 6 browsers were at the end of last month. And if we fast forward to end of July, this is what it looks like. So toggling back and forth, you can see that it's a very incremental progress as usual. Also, the web platform tests famously includes these very large number of text encoding tests for Asian languages. So if we subtract those just to get slightly smaller numbers that are easier to look at, this is what the progress looks like. So Ladybird taking a nice chunky step there. Almost caught up to Flow once again, which will be nice. So taking a look back in time, this is progress since December for all the top 6 browsers. If you recall, back in May, Flow put out a new version of their browser and leapfrogged us on the WPT score. And since then, we've been just incrementally closing the gap. And this trend continues. Now we're real close to them. But everybody has been making good progress. It's really nice to see that all the browsers are actively improving their WPT scores. So this is good stuff. And I don't know, maybe Flow is preparing a new release. We can't see what they're doing because they're a closed source project. We are an open source project. So there's a little bit of mystery and tension there, but it's kind of fun. So I hope that they're preparing something interesting. Anyways, this was WPT. So new thing this month is that we can finally pass the Google reCAPTCHA reliably. This is one of the big CAPTCHAs online. It gates access to a ton of content. So the fact that we can now pass it is awesome. I think it came down to the last thing we had to fix was a post message bug where something was like happening in the wrong JavaScript realm. I forget what it was, but it was some like subtle detail in post message. And now that we got that fixed, it actually works. So here's what it looks like. When we run the test on the Google site, click on all the traffic lights and verify, and we're actually given access to whatever's on the other side of the reCAPTCHA. So super cool. Also this month, we've added high refresh rate support. So request animation frame now fires at the native display refresh rate. Even if you move your browser window to another screen that has a different refresh rate, we're supposed to figure that out. And that means that request animation frame is no longer fixed at 60 FPS. This gives us, like smoother animations, less jank on higher refresh rate displays. So really cool. Another thing this month is HTTP 3 support. So this is something that we're getting sort of for free by using curl for networking and OpenSSL, I guess. We found some issues in curl, which was a great example of open source collaboration because we found and reported some issues and they fixed them, put out a new version containing the fix, and everyone is better off because software improved. This is really cool. I think now there is an issue with some websites or web servers that advertise support for HTTP 3, but they don't actually support it fully. Next step for us is to do something graceful in those situations. That's something we're working on right now. But this is really good progress. Okay. Something else this month, SVG foreign object improvements. So foreign object is an SVG mechanism where you can put HTML inside of your SVG. Of course, you can also put your SVG inside of HTML. So these things can actually nest infinitely, creating awesome situations for the browser engine to deal with. So here's an example on screen, which is an SVG with a foreign object with some HTML inside of it. And this is something that we just barely supported previously. And this month we've dramatically improved foreign object support so that HTML inside of SVG now behaves a lot better. And it turned out to be something we needed for Discord support because Discord uses foreign objects for all kinds of things in their UI. They like to put HTML inside of an SVG and then apply masks and effects to it, for example. So really good driver for improving our SVG support. Another new thing is the Trusted Types API, which we now partially implement. If you're not familiar, it's a new web standard API that helps prevent cross-site scripting attacks by imposing some restrictions on common injection sinks like document write, eval, the element inner HTML property, and the script element text and source properties. And it essentially stops you from being able to just call these APIs or assign any arbitrary string to them. And you can only assign or call them with a string that has been through an API that's supposed to sanitize them. It doesn't provide sanitization by itself, but it forces you to go through an API of your design before actually reaching these endpoints. So it's a very nice mechanism for securing your website against these types of attacks. So now we implement some of it, and we're going to be expanding to cover all of it eventually. In the land of CSS, we've seen some improvements this month as well. We've implemented the content URL thing where pseudo elements can now generate images. Previously, we could only generate text with pseudo elements like before and after. But now you can do any mix of text and image content. You can even do lists of images, for example. This is used extensively by Google Docs in their various user interfaces. So it was a big win for us there because now everything has icons in Google Docs. We've added some new pseudo classes. So we've done the state pseudo class, and we've also added the unchecked pseudo class. So these now work as well. And we've also done a bunch of work towards custom property syntax, or the property at rule from Houdini. Of course, this is still very incomplete, but we are taking great steps towards supporting custom syntax stuff where you can define your own CSS properties, basically. And now we're going to do a little demo to show you how things are looking right now with Ladybird. So let's take a look at Ladybird. First thing I want to do is visit our own project website because this month we've finally added support for SVG filters. So you no longer see two awkward circles in the back here. You actually see these nice blurred circles for a neat effect. Very, very nice. And of course, it's tradition to visit new sponsors in these videos. So this month we added Scraping Fish. And we also added Blacksmith with some infrastructure sponsorship. So starting with scrapingfish.com, it looks pretty nice. I don't see anything obviously wrong. I bet that's supposed to be the X logo, but we're just doing a replacement character. Probably needs a little fixing, but website on the whole looks kind of reasonable. Oh, look at this. Pretty. Oh, I bet these are too tall. Okay. Well, still not so bad. Another missing symbol here. Very, very cool. And then the Blacksmith website. Oh, look at that animation. Wonder if they do more animations on load. Oh, they do some typing stuff. That's pretty cool. Okay. Oh, look at those fade outs. Okay, layout here definitely looks a little broken, so we have some work to do here. Yeah, definitely layout issues here. Okay, well, we're gonna have to dig into it. But yeah, organization saving time. We are definitely one of them. Our CI has sped up so much with these guys. It's awesome. Okay, so I wanted to show you some things that we've worked on. So I'm just going to use Brave Search because it usually works pretty well in these videos. So we got this old game called Cut the Rope working. And it was like a mobile game, I think, originally. But then they made an HTML version back in the day. To sort of showcase what you could do with HTML. This was maybe 2012, something like that, like right after Flash kind of got killed by Apple indirectly. And so there was all this tension about like, is the browser going to be good enough for like Flash level content? And this Cut the Rope game was a showcase of, I think, JavaScript and Canvas stuff to show that you can totally do a game like this in web content. And I am now playing this in Ladybird over a decade later. Pretty cool. I was working on a browser at Nokia at the time when this came out, and we spent a bunch of time improving performance on this thing. And here I am all these years later doing it again, which is kind of fun for me. Anyways, really cool to see this. What can I click on here? Options. Okay, sure. Right. So then I also wanted to show you, actually, Image Flip. This website where you can make memes. Let's see. Normally it loads images. Okay, let me just see that I'm not doing something wrong here. Or that we didn't get a... Okay, well, images are not loading today for some reason. But, oh, we can at least make a new meme. I guess I have to come up with something for the for the Simba and Mufasa meme. Like everything the light touches is another Chromium browser. But what's that shadowy place over there? That's Ladybird. It's not Chromium. It's a shitty meme. But how cool is it that you can actually use this in Ladybird and like edit memes in this thing? Oh shoot, the checkbox doesn't change state visually, but it does clearly work. Radio buttons change state. Look at that opacity, so cool. All right. Yeah, so those are some of the things I wanted to show you. Before we go, I want to thank everybody who contributed code in July 2025. This is a list of all the folks in our um, Git repository who committed something in July. Very, very awesome to have so many people working on it. Really, really appreciate the developer community. And I love that we're still seeing new people join regularly, do their first ever browser development with us. If you're interested in doing your first browser development with us, join us on Discord. Get your feet wet. I promise it's really fun. At least I think so. And yeah, thank you so much for contributing. And thank you as well for watching this video. To all of our sponsors, to everybody who's following our newsletter. It's awesome how well things are going. I'm really proud of the team, proud of our progress. I think we're doing great. And I'm excited about the future. And I guess I'll see you next month. Tell you what happened then. See ya.